Alright, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and kind of change up the angle here, and we're also going to go ahead and kind of speed things up a little bit here. Taking a bit long to do this, and I want to kind of go ahead and go a little faster on this, not only A, to get this thing done for you guys, so you're not sitting here watching me sew for hours on end, but also B, you don't have to, I want to get this thing done. I was hoping to get this thing done for an event that's going on in less than 2 weeks here, so anyway, let's get started. Alright, so I've got the actual seam of the sleeve flat felled. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and do the vent on here. I'm going to be doing a line of stitching. I already got these things ironed and folded, ready to go. I'm going to be doing a line of stitching, and then I'm also going to be putting a bar tack right at where the vent opens up then too. That's going to help strengthen that. After we're done with that, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to whip stitch this little reinforcement square right here. So I'll go ahead and start working on this, and I'll get back to you in just a little bit. Alright, so I'm just doing a line of stitching on the vent here, just doing a regular running stitch. You can actually go ahead and do just about any sort. I'll kind of get a little bit of a zoom in here so you kind of get a good idea of what I'm doing. You can do a back stitch if you want. Here's the right side of the piece, and then here's the inside, as you can see here. But you can do a back stitch. I've even seen some where you can actually do just regular whip stitch then along the edge inside of there. So now I got one side done, and I started on the other side here, but I'm actually going to go ahead and do a bar tack on here, which is basically just one stitch in one little spot. So alright, as you can kind of see in the outside here, alright, this is the outside of the fabric, the right side of the fabric. You can kind of see the actual bar tack, which is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the running stitch along the other side here. Alright, so I'm ready to go ahead and attach the reinforcement piece that's going to go right there. I've also been working on the other sleeve, and I actually went ahead and got the whole sleeve done already, and I want to kind of make sure everything's nice and even with it, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the stripe here is going across in the same direction here. So just kind of gives it a little bit more of a tailored look. You don't necessarily have to go that way, but to me, I want this to be a really nice looking shirt, and something that looks like the person who actually made it took their time and did a really good job on it, not just said that was just real hurried up done. So, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and use a whip stitch to attach the reinforcement piece, just like on the other side here. I'll whip that on, and then after that we can go ahead and start putting the cuff on. Alright, so I figured also I should probably show a little trick that I also have though too when actually attaching this. As you can see here, I kind of have it lined up. I kind of just have one of the edges here, like really, I just want to try to make sure I line it up and kind of put it just over the bar tack on there. And then what I'll do is I'll hang on to it and kind of pinch it, and then work my fingers over to the other side. Now you can also pin this down though, but I don't know, this just seems a little bit easier for me. And then when I come in underneath the actual piece of fabric, this is going to hide or not, and then after that I'll go ahead and run do a stitch like so, and then I'm going to come across and go along the other side like so. Let me just zoom in just a little bit. You can kind of see, hopefully, see what it's looking like. Alright, so I got the actual cuff attached to the other sleeve. This is an actual finished sleeve right here. This is the right sleeve, and I don't know if you can kind of see, but on the sleeves itself I have the gathers folded over towards the actual same side as the felling is folded over. And I did that on the same thing with the other sleeve then too. So they're going to be kind of like mirror images of each other. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run a running stitch. You can do a running stitch or a back stitch either way. And then after I'm done with that, just like on this, I'm going to fold the cuff out, and then I'm going to go and put the just do a line of whip stitching then along the edge, so then it'll be finished just like that. Alright, so I got the cuff attached, and right now I'm going to be going ahead and doing some top stitching. I wanted to kind of change up. Usually I have a couple shirts that I've done where it has no top stitching on there, but then I also have a few shirts that actually do have some top stitching, and since whenever I make a shirt I always try not to do the same thing twice, you know, to give my kid a little bit of a variance. So I'm actually going to do 2 lines of top stitching, and I'll zoom in here. You can kind of see on this cuff, the one that I did before, the 2 lines of top stitching, and I'm going to do that for this one. So after I do the top stitching then on this, I'm going to do a buttonhole. Now, one of the things you want to make sure that your buttonholes, now most shirts had them on opposite sides of the actual cuff, but I guess there are a few examples. I was just in the AC forum the other day, and they were talking about a surviving shirt that the buttonholes are all on the same side. So, but majority of shirts that are out there, they have them on opposite sides, and you also want to have them on the side that faces towards you. So as you can see on my shirt that I have here, I got the buttonhole placement put just correct. Now another thing though too is that you also don't want to put it in the middle. I've seen almost every single like Sutler Row shirt that I've seen, they always had the buttonholes right here in the middle of the cuff. Actually, shirts back then had them close towards the back over here, and the reason for that was that if your cuff, you know, if you're going to be doing something that you can get your cuffs dirty, you could actually fold back your sleeve cuffs and protect them from getting dirty. So, but we're gonna go ahead and like I said, I'm just gonna do the 2 lines of top stitching, and after I do the top stitching, then I'll go ahead and do my buttonhole. There's tons of information. I could show you how to do a buttonhole though, but there's a lot. I know there's other videos here on YouTube that also have buttonholes demonstrations, and there's lots of written articles out there. So I'm not going to go ahead and waste everybody's time with that. I'm just kind of going through right now, once we got the basics done with the flat felling, etc., which is something that there's not a lot out, especially for video. I've yet to find a single video out there doing how to flat fell a seam. So, but everything else, you can find the information out there. So just Google, type it up into YouTube, or go to Google search, and you can find some information on that.